Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. In part 2 of our investigation into the state's public defense system, the problem with plea deals.
It's easy to push a plea. I don't have to research this case. I just make this sweetness deal and make this sound good.
Public defenders are burdened with more cases than they can try, and clients suffer. Terre Haute's money troubles are mounting. The state says the city must cut spending by $8 million.
And that's impossible. There's no way. Then they know that. They've told us, we know you can't do it, but this is the way the system works.
Coming up, what the city plans to do to reduce its debt and why some are accusing the mayor of not being transparent. Plus, in headlines, the latest on the U.S. Senate race, and top federal officials visit the Hoosier state. Those stories and more right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Is Indiana meeting its constitutional obligation to provide fair and speedy trials for Hoosiers regardless of their income? It's a question we started to examine in part 1 of our series, Justice for All, last week. Barbara Brosier has spent months looking into this issue. Barbara, this is a question the courts are considering.
Well, that's right, Joe. We've told you about a class action lawsuit challenging the adequacy of Johnson County's public defense system. Well, a lawsuit filed at the federal level makes similar claims about Allen County. People there say the public defense system is constitutionally, structurally, and systematically deficient. And a national advocacy group for the indigent says it's a problem that spans the state.
The liberty that we cherish so much and enjoy, really, it is dangling by a slender thread.
They work for the state. Their caseload is way too high for them to give any adequate representation to anyone.
Public defense systems in so many of the states around the country, including Indiana, I fear, is failing.
If you get arrested, your odds of getting an independent lawyer are extremely slim.
Asia Marshall thought she was on the path to success.
I've never been in trouble. I worked for community corrections. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and an associate's in human services.
The single mother worked hard to get an education and start a career so she could not only provide for her family, but also serve as a role model.
I purchased a house at 30 in Arlington Park. I mean, I had high standards and I was on a path of high, moving up, motivated.
But her path drastically changed in December 2014.
I was arrested for domestic battery, misdemeanor.
According to court documents, Marshall's boyfriend at the time called 911, claiming she hit him in the face with a remote, causing him to bleed. When police arrived, he told them he didn't want Marshall arrested. But still, she was taken into custody and charged with domestic battery and disorderly conduct. Marshall maintains her innocence and fought the charges for a couple of months with the help of a private attorney. When she ran out of money, a judge assigned her case a public defender. And that's when Marshall says the problems started.
I was provided on June 29th a defenseless trial.
A jury convicted Marshall of both charges. It was her son's birthday, and she was sent off to jail.
We had his party scheduled for Jungle George's, had him a nice cake and everything.
Because of what happened at her trial, Marshall is part of a class action lawsuit that alleges Allen County's public defense system is inadequate. The lawsuit says her public defender called no witnesses, introduced no evidence, and refused to let her testify during the trial. Marshall says she was repeatedly pressured to take a plea deal, but she refused because she says she's innocent.
To me, they're plea pushers. It's easy to push a plea. I don't have to research this case. I just make this sweetness deal and make this sound good from a person. The average person does not want to fight.
Attorney David Frank is representing the class action lawsuit against Allen County. He says some of the public defenders here have been assigned as many as 4 times the maximum number of misdemeanor cases allowed by state standards. The lawsuit claims, as a result, the part-time public defenders can't devote the necessary time to most cases.
It's embarrassment to the state, but more importantly, it's causing the incarceration, the needless incarceration, and devastation of lives of the poor. And somehow no one wants to talk about that. That's the population being affected.
An Indiana University McKinney School of Law professor recently penned an expert report supporting the claims in the lawsuit. He writes the caseloads in Allen County are, in his words, much too high and therefore pose an unacceptably high risk that many of the clients represented by these lawyers will not receive reasonably effective assistance of counsel.
They are really asked to provide representation in circumstances where they don't have the resources, they don't have adequate compensation, and they so often have truly outrageous caseloads. And as a result, they wind up practicing law in ways that they would never do if their client had adequate financial resources to provide compensation and to pay for the auxiliary support services that are necessary in public defense.
Allen County does participate in the reimbursement program through the Indiana Public Defender Commission, which means it has to comply with training and caseload requirements. But the rules only apply in felony cases. So in misdemeanor cases like Marshall's, there's essentially no way to hold counties accountable for the quality of public defense they provide.
If you have a county that is theoretically constitutionally obligated to provide a service to poor people, but if they don't, there's no consequences, what do you think a county is going to do? They're not going to do anything because they don't have to.
That was one of the top findings in a report by the Sixth Amendment Center, a national nonpartisan group that advocates for the indigent.
There's a lot of collateral consequences that come from a conviction on a misdemeanor, and yet counties and cities are not held to any sort of standards, and for the most part, they're providing services by contracting with a single attorney or a group of attorneys to handle an unlimited number of cases. These attorneys spend very little time on these cases, and people are ending up with very serious life consequences because of it.
The report says outrageously high caseloads for public defenders are a problem throughout the state. It says in 2014, some Elkhart County public defenders had as many as 5 times the maximum allowed cases in a year. That same year in Marion County, one attorney had a caseload that was more than 3 times the cap.
And the program needs to be adequately funded with the general revenues of the state.
Those statistics led several attorneys to file a petition last year asking the Indiana Supreme Court to spell out rules, procedures, and standards for defending the state's indigent. And it asked the court to establish a statewide public defender system.
Indiana is at the lower half of the 50 states. So you take a state like Louisiana, where people may have been reading about all the indigent defense problems there and people going without counsel. Well, Louisiana currently spends $66 million a year on indigent defense, and they have less of a population than Indiana.
The financial resources overall that are provided in Indiana for public defense services are simply inadequate. And you cannot have a first-class system of public defense unless you have the appropriate structures in place to assure that the defense representation that is provided is both competent and effective.
The state Supreme Court hasn't acted on that petition for rulemaking. As for Asia Marshall's criminal case, the Court of Appeals recently vacated her disorderly conduct charge, saying she was being prosecuted twice for the same offense, but her domestic battery conviction still stands. The Indiana Supreme Court declined to hear that case.
All right, thank you very much, Barbara. And next week, we'll take you to Kentucky, where there is a statewide public defense system in place. State officials are ordering the city of Terre Haute to reduce its $8 million deficit by the end of the year. The directive came down several months ago, but some are frustrated because they say the mayor kept the information to himself. Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett says the state directive is a formality.
It's a paperwork thing is all it is.
City officials are struggling to replace the income they lost when the state capped property taxes in 2008.
What they've asked us to do is eliminate the deficit in 1 year, and that's impossible. There's no way, and they know that. They've told us, we know you can't do it, but this is the way the system works.
Bennett got the directive from the state in January. City Council President Karim Nasser says he's frustrated the council is just learning about this.
I think it would have been beneficial to everybody if we would have had all the information right when he received the information instead of waiting till more than halfway through the year to work on a $8 million problem.
Bennett says he wasn't trying to hide anything. He was working on a plan to roll out next month.
The only thing we could have done in January would have been lay off about half of our staff if they were really serious about making our deficit go away in 1 year and then hire them all back on January 1st. And that's not even feasible.
Terre Haute is making progress in reducing its deficit. It's down about $1 million since a $9 million peak in 2015. And Bennett says the city has had a balanced budget the past 2 years that could help shrink the deficit as much as $2 million more by the end of the year. Mayor Bennett says he is still counting on a county public safety tax next year to help fill the gap. That tax has yet to be approved by County Council. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk, we'll tell you how rainwater and agriculture can contribute to a dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. And we'll bring you the latest top stories, including an update on East Chicago. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18 fine.
24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it. It's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue wrapped up a Midwest road trip at the Indiana State Fair. Perdue met in private with state lawmakers about their goals for the 2018 Farm Bill reauthorization. That's the $800 billion package of laws governing the nation's agricultural and nutritional assistance programs. Perdue says Indiana agriculture leaders told him they want a strong safety net in the next version of the Farm Bill. One he says encourages them to farm for the market, not for subsidies.
Don't devise a program that makes people make uneconomic decisions of doing something that's against their farming practices in order to get government payments. That's not what producers want. They want a good crop at a fair price.
He says that's why he wants Ted McKinney, Indiana's current Agriculture Department Director, to get Senate confirmation as the USDA's first ever trade secretary. In that post, McKinney would travel and find new markets for American farmers. When water runs off farms in Indiana and throughout the Midwest, it often takes with it nutrients that are important to crops. Nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. They can travel downstream and contribute to a large hypoxia zone or dead zone, where a lack of oxygen makes it difficult for any life to survive. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the annual dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico this year is about the size of New Jersey. It's close to 9,000 square miles and the largest ever reported. As J.D. Gray reports, an interactive exhibit at the State Fair, it lets you see the interplay between rain and topography.
The exhibit is in the Normandy barn.
So this is our augmented reality sandbox, and what it's showing here is different topography.
It uses a sandbox, a projector, and an Xbox Kinect to create a topographic display.
You can show people maps and tell them about it, but we want something really hands-on this year. Hit this button over here that will make it rain, and then this will demonstrate how water will drain.
Connor says some of the water evaporates and some of it makes its way to a larger waterway. That can contribute to the nutrient runoff, which creates the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico.
While kids will build mountains and stuff, you can also flatten it out and see all the little holes in there, like Indiana has, and when it rains, those holes do fill up with water.
There are ways farmers can reduce the amount of nutrients that make it to the waterway. Some farmers use cover crops to keep nutrients on the property. Other options include no-till farming and nutrient management systems.
We're trying to show folks how Indiana farmers are helping try to reduce that hypoxia zone.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm J.D. Gray.
The technology is on loan from the Elkhart County Soil and Water Conservation District. Now, Barbara Brozier is back with headlines. She has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. Representative Todd Rokita is running for Senate. The four-term congressman, who's vice chair of the U.S. House Budget Committee, announced this week he will try to unseat incumbent Democrat Joe Donnelly.
President Trump and Vice President Pence have an agenda that Hoosiers and Americans fully support. They need more partners in the Senate willing to challenge the status quo from both parties and take on the failed policies of the Washington elite.
Rokita joins a crowded GOP field that includes attorney Mark Hurt, businessman Terry Henderson, educator Andrew Takami, State Representative Mike Braun, and U.S. Representative Luke Messer. U.S. Senator Todd Young says he'll join fellow Republicans in Congress to make tax reform his priority this fall.
We need to make a very strong run at it. I think we have more than a fighting chance to get it done.
Young says the key issues are untaxed offshore assets and tax barriers for small businesses. But the Trump administration and congressional Republicans have issued few specifics about details of their plans. U.S. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson says the federal government is committed to the ongoing lead cleanup in East Chicago. About 300 families moved from the West Calumet housing complex in the past year after tests found high lead levels in blood samples of some children. Tyler Lake reports on Carson's tour of the area this week.
During a tour of the lead-contaminated West Calumet housing complex in East Chicago, Carson called the situation a learning experience and praised state and local officials for how they handled it. Despite what he called the inconveniences faced by the complex's uprooted residents, Carson says the relocation was necessary to keep them safe.
You know, that's been done here. It's been done in a good way. Are there better ways to do it? Probably. And are we learning what they are? Absolutely. And will we use those to try to prevent these kinds of problems in the future? We absolutely will.
Carson met privately Monday with some residents and local lawmakers.
12 feet.
That's how deep Hunter says the hole was dug to be sure the lead is out of the soil. She called Carson's meeting with officials a publicity stunt. But during a private meeting with Carson, she passed along a list of community demands. They include health and financial follow-ups with displaced residents.
And what we want, I know we won't get, because what I want is to bring our people back. That means to remediate it, fix it.
U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly says he wants to help the city rebuild housing to replace the old West Calumet complex.
And we're going to work every day to get better at this, to have a chance for all of them to come back and have their hopes and dreams come true here in East Chicago.
HUD said it probably won't rebuild the housing on the West Calumet site, even once it's cleaned up. and the agency hasn't approved a plan to tear down the complex. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Tyler Lake.
Corporate bus fleet Auxilio Services failed to fill all of its bus routes for Monroe County schools this week, causing major delays for the first day of school. Routes were doubled up, and pickup and drop-off times were delayed by an hour and a half in some cases. Now, schools in Muncie used the same services and closed down for 2 days last week, following widespread busing issues on the first day of school. Some parents say the recent issues will at least lead to a full review by the corporation. An MCCSC spokesperson says Auxilio is in the process of hiring more drivers. 9 people have died this year in crashes along a stretch of I-70 in western Indiana that saw only one fatal crash last year. Police say most of the accidents are the result of construction zones and involve drivers failing to reduce their speed as they approach stopped or slowed traffic. Police have increased patrols in the area. Indiana's vaping industry is growing. Nearly 100 manufacturers are now allowed to produce and sell the liquid used in electronic cigarettes. A 2016 law that allowed a private firm to determine who could produce the liquid shut out all but 7 companies last year. The legislature changed the law's language this year, opening up the market. Madison County is shutting down its needle exchange. The 2-year-old program provides IV drug users with clean syringes and collects used ones to reduce needle sharing that spreads hepatitis C and HIV. The council voted this week to bar county funds, donations, and gifts from supporting the exchange. One council member said he couldn't endorse a program that provides illegal paraphernalia to drug users. Meanwhile, the Tippecanoe County Health Department started operating its needle exchange today. It's been in the works for more than a year. Clark County commissioners also voted last night to extend their needle exchange for another year. A Republican Indiana legislator is backing medical marijuana as an alternative method to curb the state's opioid epidemic. Representative Jim Lucas says it could provide people an alternative to addictive opioids, and he refutes claims that it's a gateway drug. The Indiana Attorney General has expressed his opposition to legalizing marijuana in the past. Former Indiana Congressman Lee Hamilton is an expert on foreign affairs. He says he's deeply concerned about leaders in North Korea and the U.S. exacerbating the tension in recent days.
Because what you want at the helm of the nation, this nation, North Korea, is firm, measured judgment. And it is critical for the peace of the world.
Hamilton says we need a political, diplomatic process to get these 2 leaders to calm down their rhetoric, to take steps to reduce the number of military proactive actions, and get on a track toward a peaceful resolution. A new federal report says urgent action is needed to prevent the invasive Asian carp from reaching the Great Lakes. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers report recommends technological and structural measures such as underwater noisemakers, an electric dispersal barrier, and a new flushing lock to keep the fish out of the Great Lakes. The estimated price tag is $275 million. Scientists say if Asian carp reach the Great Lakes, they could cripple a $7 billion fishing industry, and that's something, Joe, they're worried about throughout the state.
All right, thank you very much, Barbara. People are gearing up for the solar eclipse set to occur on August 21st. Hoosiers can attend several events and watch parties throughout the state. Now, one Columbus, Indiana brewery is revealing a special beer in honor of the rare event. Brewed and bottled in central Indiana, 450 North's The Great Eclipse is a celebration of the upcoming solar event. The beer is in limited supply, though. 450 North is producing about 200 cases and 10 kegs of the beer that will be distributed throughout central Indiana.
You know, no one else in Indiana is actually doing something like this, and very few people around the country are doing a beer specifically for. You know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime beer, so we have to make sure that the quality is perfect. And from what we've got a chance to taste today, we're expecting great quality and for everyone to love it.
Brookbank says the style of the brew characterizes the Eclipse well.
Because you take your standard IPA, which could be the sun, and the New England style, which can be the moon, and it crosses paths. You're expecting that big bitterness out of an IPA, but with a New England style, it's masked because of the brewing process in itself.
And that's not the only thing the brewery captured from August's upcoming solar event.
The alcohol percent for this particular beer is 8.21%. to coincide with the date 8/21 of the Great Eclipse.
Brewers plan to have the beer on tap during the eclipse. And an Indianapolis charter school is the first in the country to use a virtual reality program to teach science to high school students. The school has partnered with Iowa-based Victory VR to use its virtual reality science curriculum.
Instead of fighting to be first in line for lunch or recess or gym, suddenly kids are fighting to be first in line to learn science. How weird is that?
A handful of schools in the country will start using it soon as well. The principal says it will be used to supplement lessons from the science teacher. We saw this with the virtual reality cadaver at Ivy
Yes,
Tech. I'm seeing this
absolutely.
more and more, I'm sure.
I remember being excited when we got a smart board at school. This is
Right.
way beyond that.
And that's all the time we have for this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members, thank you.